Uh, you're live. You might be live. Live at not quite 5. Okay. I did a long video, yesterday, and I know nobody's really had a chance to watch that, but a lot of people won't click on a brand specific video unless they're terribly interested in that brand, maybe. So I had discussed in that somewhere in that hour that I have planned for another video that would be a follow up to that one that would not come till spring. Okay, this is not technically that video. This was an afterthought that I had that I still don't want to do that video yet. Now, I know a lot of people have done their holiday shopping and everything already, and the seasons are changing and everything already, like I said yesterday. So maybe I'm a little late to the game with this. But as I was saying yesterday, a lot of the more fashion channels are throwing around words like field jacket and safari jacket pretty liberally, and they are two slightly different things. So again, I'm really not going to get into true safari jackets very much here, but I will talk about two of the jackets that I showed yesterday because they're both cockadoo jackets. And the first one is not technically a field jacket because it's more of a Western drover horse jacket, but it still borrows very heavily from I don't know, standard M65 military field jackets in a lot of ways, or whatever. So as I showed yesterday, that I'm going to show again, and I wore a lighter weight shirt than the flannel one, so I can try some of these on and show them, because I don't remember all of which ones fit anymore. Actually, I've had some of these for a while, and at least one of them I didn't even buy. I just got it. But okay, one of the main differences though was this drover jacket or coat. It's almost a coat. Even though it's still a lighter weight material, it does have a cape vent for the rain. Uh, Pretty much no true field jacket will have a cape vent. You might have epaulets. We'll show those later. But it does have consistently big below the waist cargo pockets. It does have a drawstring and a cinch mechanism instead of a belt. A true safari jacket will usually have a belt. None of these will have a belt except for the one that was in my zombie apocalypse and in yesterday's video, and it's not at the top of the pile. But this is meant for, it's a versatile piece. You can call it a field jacket. The one I'm not including in this video, well, it's a little bit of a clickbait title to say fail. Okay, they're not, these aren't all failures as garments, and they're not all false field jackets. I just had to put something, and that was catchy enough, and so fine. Because the problems I had with this jacket were more the way the sleeves fit than the features, and of course the use of this jacket. Like I said, with the lining, it's a little too warm, maybe for warm weather, but it's not insulated enough for December or January going forward necessarily. And with the sleeves being as not as great raglan fitting or whatever as I would like, it would be very hard to wear a sweater under this and use it as a winter coat, unlike, something wool or whatever. But is it still technically a, legitimate field jacket, even though it's more meant to be worn with horses and inclement weather, supposedly? Again, would I trust this in inclement weather? Not necessarily, but yes, we can still call this, a field jacket without being a failed field jacket, even though it's a slightly modified field jacket. Okay. So, we have the snap cuffs with the leather that's here for no reason, really. And the sleeves are too long and, should get an adjustment. but overall, we're coming down not too near the knees exactly. So it's a little bit short for a true duster, I think. But it is technically a duster. A mini duster, maybe? So if I step back, you can see about how long it is. I can't get back too much, so I'm tripping over other things. Okay. So you can see it goes down, and it has this snap at the bottom that you don't really need. And so basically, a recurring theme will be this kind of drawstring or belt. I can tie that there, and then, you know, don't have to worry about it too much if I want to ventilate. Okay. So that's our basic parameters, right? We got nice big pockets. We may or may not have hand warmer pockets. We may or may not have always, you know, even chest pockets. We may or may not have interior pockets. This one has a couple, you know. This fabric is a lighter weight canvas than I would have expected from this company and this style, because even though it has some of these other features, I can get a heavier duty, sturdier field jacket from LL Bean for less money, okay? And we have the leather collar here, which is definitely not the norm. Because a true military one, of course, you have the roll-up hood, as opposed to trying to look tough. You have your rain hood, and a lot of times I didn't like that bunching, so a lot of times I would leave the hood out, even though I had no intention of ever wearing the hood. Okay, so similarly, but not the same thing, again, we have, you know, the bomber jacket, which is a lazy term for anything that's basically a flight jacket. This is basically patterned after a military A2 flight jacket, but in camo and a lightweight material. So this is a hunting jacket that's also a bomber jacket, but not a true field jacket in the strictest sense of the words, even though it does still have cargo pockets and hand warmer pockets. It does not have a chest pocket like the other one. It does have a snapping storm flap. I didn't really get into that, but you could kind of see what was going on there. And underneath that, a zipper. So again, straight from both of these. M65s have both of those features, and A2s have both of those features, right? A snappy storm flap. This one, on the other hand, will have an acetate polyester lining instead of cloth cotton, and the sleeves will be lined with the same material, but again, no insulation here. Not really meant to be warm, meant to be more camouflagey. It has this back thing where I think technically you're supposed to have a tree stand harness or something that can go to something like this, but this one is just there. It's functionally useless as far as I can tell. And of course we have the ribbed cuffed sleeves and the cinched elastic bottom. So in terms of fail, is it a field jacket? No, it's technically not. Definitely with a field jacket, you're going to have less of this kind of thing, and none of this. And even though it does have cargo pockets, again, has nowhere near enough pockets to fit the bill. The M65 does have large chest pockets, and this is not a true M65. This is the Levi's version of an M65, but it's close enough. Except it's not going to have the zip-in lining with the extra insulation and all that kind of thing. I think I've showed this before. It's definitely not a real army garment, but it's made to look like a real army garment. It does have a more true twill fabric, which I assume is all cotton because I bought it before the polyester craze completely took over. And this one does say extra large, made in China, but of course the fit is still a little bit fashion forward if memory serves. So how well this fits and with the sleeves and all that, let's find out. Okay, this one does have snaps going all the way down, same as the other one. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. I don't remember how many the other one had. 5 or 6, somewhere in that range. But this is definitely not meant to be as long as a duster or a true duster or anything of the sort. It's just a glorified shirt. but it's not a shirt jacket, right? That's another important distinction. So again, we do have the drawstrings, which harken us back to the M65, but then we have a really no frills interior. No, like I said, no chance to zip in linings or no internal ID pockets or anything. But we do have the chest pockets. We have the tape that's, I'm pointing at the wrong hand. We have the tape that's supposed to look like your nameplate, but it doesn't say, you know, Levi's or Army or anything. We do have a zipper with a storm flap. Unlike a real field jacket, though, too, the material, I don't know that the material is that much of a heavier weight, but it does have a nylon blend usually to be a little more water repellent. And we don't have any cinch things here, which some of them might. We don't have a hood. We have a regular shirt collar. We do have epaulettes for show, but they have snaps instead of buttons. I don't want to rip it, but in case anybody doesn't know the difference between snaps and buttons, I'm not sure if all the M65s have buttons, though. I think most or many of them might actually have snaps, whereas some of the Army shirts from the 60s, I think, had button epaulettes, and they definitely had button waist cinches. But the blouses, as opposed to the jackets, were slightly different in some cases with certain features. Some of them had more tapered waists. I don't know if that was for female use or if it was just because you were wearing your belt, you know, your web gear or whatever. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, and this is not an outside only pocket. This does have a pocket pouch, which is standard again on most. The Drover one was a little bit different because it had the hand warmer pockets underneath. This one, of course, has no hand warmer pockets. Many cargo pockets will just be overlays like the chest pockets here. These do not have bellows, but I don't think an M65 typically has a bellows in the pleated sense, but it usually does have a bit more fabric here where the pocket can expand farther. So here we have, you know, is this a failed field jacket? Well, it fits okay. It's an extra large. So I guess I can't call it a failed field jacket, but it's not a true military spec garment. And as you can see, it's not as long down the thighs as the Drover. But Levi's coming as close as they're going to come to authentic enough, right? Next, this is kind of, I'm going to go slightly over. Yeah, I'll do that one and then that one. Okay, so this one, basically the exact same thing, but from Converse. This is, I definitely did not pay for this one. This one has a seam up the back instead of any branding. So it's free of any branding. It doesn't have any kind of openings or vents or side things or cinches or drawstrings. It's just a straight up canvas, lightweight shirt, blouse, slash. Again, not 100% cotton. So again, yeah, before the polyester revolution. This time though, we have the Mandarin collar, which is more of a stand-up collar. So that's definitely less of a true field jacket edition. It does still have snap epaulettes for show, basically. Did I show the label? Well, you can see. I don't know how old this is. Probably 8 or 10 years or something. It has snap chest pockets. The pockets are maybe a little bit bigger than the Levi's ones. It has a little bit of extra kind of stuff going on, but these are just for show. There's no extra reason for these seams. It's not pleats or gussets. This is an overlay cargo pocket as well as an overlay chest pocket, and with no bellows, with no real expansion. So they just put little seams and stuff to look tricky. And we have no adjustable cuff, just one snap hole. So how it fits is how it fits. And again, we're even shorter maybe than the Levi's. So we're coming down barely past the belt. Again, no drawstrings. We do have a zipper with a storm flap. So we have 5 snaps. So is it a field jacket fail? No, again, just the collar's a little bit. The collar's a little bit less traditional. No hood. But it's still technically a field jacket. But again, no insulation, no zip-ins, no hidden pockets, you know, no, like I said, no drawstring even this time. No frills. Don't know how much it cost. A standard mid-weight canvas, again, same as the other two. So not going to be that warm, not going to be that rough and tough, but fairly durable for light use, such as hiking, or, you know, if you need a sort of a windbreaker in April or whatever, or June. I mean, the wind will go right through this in, you know, November even, whatever. Shoot. This, on the other hand, has a hood, is camouflage, is definitely not cotton. It's some kind of water repellent nylon or whatever. It has extra pockets in weird places. I don't know if I got this from US Spec. I must have got this from Sportsman's Guide. It has this kind of long, funky thing going on here. I don't know if that's meant to be a pocket. Anyway, technically, I guess technically we can call this a field jacket. I don't know if it was meant strictly or more strictly as rainwear, because it does have fleece lining, but it doesn't have any zip-in insulation options. It has funky drawstrings, and I guess this is supposed to be where you gather your hood under this roll keeper and Velcro. So it's kind of an updated, lightweight version of a field jacket without being a total true field jacket, but the pockets and the length, not quite enough of either to really qualify as a true field jacket. So as you can see, it's shorter than even the last one. And the zipper's on the wrong side, so it must be from England or something, or Germany. But no storm flap, just a zipper. Of course, it's camo, so you're going to have trouble seeing. But it has hand warmer pockets up here with these big zippers, but no cargo pockets, no chest pockets, with these two big things. So, oh, US Spec. Well, if I'm saying US, then maybe it's not from Germany, but maybe it's made somewhere. There's some weird, okay, this kind of thing going on. It's hitting my finger and giving me grief. New model military tactical waterproof shark skin design and material. Oh, made in China. So that's why the zipper's on the wrong side, even though it's made for Americans, supposedly. Patch for your unit, but I don't have a unit. And patch for whatever goes in here and here. So yeah, I think it's designed technically more as rainwear, and it's a little bit snug on me to try and layer under this. So this would be more perfect than what I was wearing outdoors, though, with the wind not going through it as much and this tag has been snipped off by whoever, so don't know what size it is. Probably large. Wash inside out. Cold. Do not bleach. Yeah, okay, that doesn't tell us much. Okay, so anyway, so like I said, similar to a field jacket, and then whatever this is for, I don't know, random, where I would hang my hat or something. I have no idea. So yeah, random junk, features and whatever. Reinforced sleeves, not something you typically see in field jackets, but not a bad touch. Not a true field jacket. Again, more technically lightweight rainwear. Or light, warm-ish. I don't know. Classify it however you will. But again, 2 pockets and not all the right ones. Okay. This thing, on the other hand, definitely more of a true field jacket, but also a modified version, not a military style. More like a safari jacket, but again, wrong style of collar, no lapels, no storm flap, just buttons, no insulation, just cotton lining, zipper pockets, but we do have the giant bellows pocket there, and then the big cargo pockets down the hips, no sleeve pockets, no epaulets, but a button adjustable cuff, and again, loops with a belt, no drawstring, but a true belt, so you can belt it in the middle and not have to button it. Excuse me. And this was also waxed oil skin, which I let dry out basically because I don't really need that, and it messes up your car seats and stuff. Another one that, again, it's either too hot or not warm enough and hard to layer with. But mostly in this case, harder to layer with because I bought it a long time ago and it's a size too small now. So I can still kind of wear it with a t-shirt, but not a sweater or whatever. So it would be an okay survival or hiking garment, except it's a little bulky. It's a little the wrong size. Yada, yada, yada. Is it a true field jacket, though? Yes, it's definitely a true field jacket, even though it doesn't have all the features of all the field jackets, and might be in some cases better than the super lightweight ones like the Converse one or whatever. Which brings us to this guy. Again, not a total fail, but no real frills. It does have a back vent instead of 2 side vents, which would be a little classier. I don't remember if I shortened these cuffs or it came hemmed like this, but I'm pretty sure it had button cuffs. And it does have a ripstop cotton material instead of a canvas. So it's a military-inspired fabric, but a less military-inspired design unless you're talking World War II-ish. But yeah, we have a pocket with maybe a real bellows in the chest, but not 2 pockets. No, fake bellows. Some of them you can cut. There's like a seam, and you can cut it maybe with a razor if you're careful. And most of them, though, it's kind of touch and go. No epaulets, though, but it does have what appears to be meant to be a shooting patch on the shoulders, but no, then a giant seam down the back. But unlike a lot of shooting patch stuff, it doesn't have Western yokes either, like this shirt. It does, the back is not as much, but this should be 2-ply, and this here is 1-ply, so not quite Western and not quite a functioning shooting patch, just kind of a mostly aesthetic touch. Nice big buttons, though. Definitely a throwback. And then the bottom pockets, they're a patch pocket on top of a hand warmer pocket, though, so not, and the bellows are fake. Again, you'd have to modify this to make it into a true bellows pocket that would actually be more useful than having hand warmer pockets on a sport coat, jacket, rather. It's not really long enough to be called a coat. I know people use the words interchangeably, and most of the time I'm careful not to, but every once in a while, when we're in a gray area, like a gray jacket, this one should still fit, although it is a size large, and I definitely got this from Sportsman's Guide in 2 colors. But this is the closest thing to a true safari jacket that we're showing today. That other one, like I said, having the wrong collar. This one having lapels and what appears to be cargo decent sized pockets, but way too short though for a real safari jacket. Should be about as long as that mini duster that we showed first. But again, I had these sleeves, I think, shortened. Yeah, for a better fit. So it doesn't really go with this outfit at all, but a 3-button front instead of a 2-button front. So that can vary because a lot of people won't button the top button on a 3-roll jacket and the blah, blah, blah and all that. But no drawstrings, no insulations, no hidden. Well, there is a hidden inner pocket in this one. Just up to a couple. Surprise, surprise. Nope, 3. Lucky me. But again, bad design because we're putting a pocket under a pocket that's on top of another pocket. So it's really a terrible place to have a pocket where you want to put too much pieces of paper, your passport or something maybe, but nothing of any, substance or width or weight. I suppose one of these could be for a phone, because a phone up here might be awkward. I don't know, but again, with no side venting though, it's a little bit tight, but not the wrong size. The sleeves are, like I said, not layering with this. I would, and with the extremely lightweight fabric, not layering very much, but also not meant for very cold weather. So would I say this is a field jacket fail? No, this is a perfectly good field jacket mostly, but it's not the best safari jacket of all time or anything. It's functional for, whatever it costs. So that's what we're looking at with something like that. It has a locker loop by the tag. And what brand is this? Oh, no, this is not Sportsman's Guide. This is Hayband. 100% cotton. So this is something that Hayband had and probably discontinued a long time ago. Although I don't remember getting this from Hayband. It says Hayband, so that must be it. But I could have swore this was a Sportsman's Guide one. But I guess I'm wrong. I guess I'm wrong. That's fine. But yeah, overall, it's pretty close to like I said, you'd want another pocket here maybe for looks more than the shooting patches, and the 3 pockets on top of each other doesn't work that well. Something like that, I'd almost be tempted to sew the hand warmer shut and open up the pocket, cut out that inner flap of material, and have a bigger bellows pocket. But I don't wear this hiking and adventuring as much as some other things, so not any, not an emergency. So similar, but this one I know this came from Sportsman's Guide. If this is okay, then this has a tag that implies that it's supposed to be Western or Aussie, though. Follow me, and it shows a guy on a horse riding along on the, and this is a medium, and they run pretty big if memory serves. I thought this was meant to be more of a military jacket, though, so why there's a little cowboy, I don't know. But again, we have this gigantic mandarin collar. So definitely not a safari jacket because we just saw the lapels, even though they weren't 2-button lapels. And definitely not the small collar we saw in the Converse one. And this extra tab to go around to keep the wind out or something, or cinch you up closed. I'll probably chop this off with some scissors. I don't know why I haven't done that yet. It should have another button on this side to hold it down, but it does not. So when you have this unbuttoned, it just flaps around. Kind of annoying. But then you have these giant buttons with a storm flap and a zipper. So again, it's going to take me time to unbutton the thing while I'm yapping. Okay. And zipper on the wrong side again, of course, because wherever it's made. 100% cotton. Yeah, I got it like, I don't know, 10 years ago probably. Doesn't say anything else there. Medium, that's also. I have this in 2 colors, but I don't know if I've ever worn any of them. This one does have a game pocket, though, which is lined with this acetate. So that is either useful or annoying, depending on your lifestyle or what you're hiking, carrying, and all that. So you got one zipper on each side, but no drawstrings, no zip-in linings. I don't think it has any hidden inner pockets. No. It does have a fake shooting patch idea again here, but this is only a seam, I think. It's 1 ply. It's not even a true shooting patch, is it? No, it's doubled over. It's made to look like a shooting patch, but it's not. Chair out of the way there. Now this is again a smaller size than those other jackets, so it's going to not be as long as a proper field jacket, but we do have bigger chest pockets. Not bellows, but not bad. So if you're planning to sew your own at home, here's some tips. No hand warmer, but a decent cargo space. Not true military buttons, but similar to military buttons with the plastic, except the zipper on the wrong side. But this is the kind of thing where I would just skip the zipper and button it, because, yeah. Who has all day to, worry about that. Again, no drawstring, though. I wish this would have a drawstring, because then I wouldn't even need the buttons. And this, like I said, this collar and this extra nonsense, not terribly stylish, but the idea being, of course, that you have extra protection. You can button it once, and if that doesn't suit you for no apparent reason, you can button it twice. And maybe cinch up your neck a little bit tighter, which again, if you're wearing this in warm weather, I don't know, maybe that helps keep out some sand or something if it's windy. And then, of course, you've got all this nonsense going on. So there's no cinching up on the sides or anything. And like I said, the game bag, with some jackets, I find it useful because in the case of the last one, or the next one, which will be the last one, if I have zip-off sleeves, they can go in the game bag. But this also has this goofy cuff thing going on with the. I don't know what I wanted. I'm tempted to just chop that off also, quite frankly, because it's not terribly adjustable. And this one, no, this one, it does have 2 buttons, but the one button's in like the wrong place for where you would ever want it. It's just to hold this flap secure. Well, if I'm just wearing the sleeve here without cinching it up, then I don't really need this flap. And if memory serves, I don't think it was this one, but I think it was the one in the other color. I actually had to move the buttons to make them functionally useful or something. And now I have this one backwards. I don't remember how I had this, but yeah, so if I want it extra tight, I can go over the top and really cinch it down, which I do kind of like. I just wish there was a more economical way of doing it than this, because that's just a lot of extra nonsense going on. But for a jacket that probably did not cost very much, again, it's pretty much the same mid-weight canvas as that really expensive fake drover over there. So yeah, this, I'm sure I got it for about the price it should have been, which is why I wasn't really complaining about all the dumb features. Whereas that one cost like 3 times more than this and is not significantly more sturdy or whatever, durable. So that's kind of annoying because, again, I can get an LL Bean one for less than $200. That's for. Of course, I don't need one because I already have one. So the final one, I think I showed this and some of these maybe in Wind Breakers video that I did, whenever that was. But yeah, this is one of the converting ones where you have the hidden zipper under here. With the pants, I find that those zippers, when they malfunction, you're kind of out of luck and you have a really expensive pair of shorts. I didn't have a problem with this, but I ended up wearing the sleeves in the giant cargo pocket more of the time and just wearing it as a vest. When I did use it, it does have a mesh with a cape, different capes and different mesh configurations, you know, in these kind of jackets and vests. Oh, the last one, is it a failed? No, it's definitely not a failed field jacket. Again, it's just not a perfect one. No inner lining in the sleeves either. And like I said, the fake the fake shooting pad was the ultimate touch on that one. Where Sportsman's Guide actually had a kind of cheaper product than Hay-Band for a change, right? But here we have this one, not as bad as some of the ones that I've seen or touched or acquired and returned or whatever, but it still has the million pockets on top of other pockets issue. This one was just the best one out of the bunch. And this, actually Rothko, a brand that I have sort of a love-hate. This says Outback Trail blazer, so I should have included this in yesterday's video, I guess, because it contains the word Outback, or however you pronounce it. It does have this kind of cinchy thing going on. Yeah, Rothko, I mean, this one, I bought it a while ago, so I'm pretty sure it's 100% stonewashed canvas, yes. Lining 100% polyester mesh, made in China. So it is made in China, but it is basically cotton back before everything was poly blend. It doesn't have the greatest looking collar. It has this kind of Velcro tab. It would take me forever to go through all these features, and I don't know if their current versions will have all these features because, again, I bought this at least 12 years ago. I don't even remember. I know I wore it to Yosemite that one summer, or spring technically. But again, yeah, so you've got this going on top of this. And I don't know, they do have something called an Uncle Milty's vest or something, that I talked about that in the vests video from 5 months ago, not 1 month ago. But it also has hand warmer pockets on top of that. On top of three other cargo pockets, one with a zipper and one with no flap, and then another one with no flap, and then one with, so actually 4 pockets all on top of each other. That's just retarded. Like, you know, you're never going to use all of those pockets in any useful way. And it's going to just collect water like crazy if you get stuck in wet conditions. Not necessarily because the water is going to fill in the pocket, it's going to weigh a ton, but it's just a lot of extra material to all get wet and soak up more water, you know, and it might still also create a its own drinking bottle if you line this with plastic, right? And a couple of pen slots, a ring, D-ring thing, more Velcro, a little elastic. Not the worst. But it is definitely a true field jacket, you know, or traveler jacket, or versatile, you know, adjustable, removable sleeves, hiking, hunting, fishing. Well, not necessarily hunting. Again, I don't know. I think if you're hunting, you want to just be able to get your thing out with the least amount of noise possible, not be hunting through 36 pockets, pun intended. Whereas if you're fishing, I don't know. I guess fishermen like lots of little cubby holes and stuff, so maybe it's a little bit different. But you've got this Velcro mini pocket on top of a cargo pocket, and they both have Velcro. And then you've got another D-ring, and then you've got a this and a that, but then the pocket on the right that I want to be a regular cargo pocket, they've divided, so I hate that. I you know. And this one, it would be more difficult to modify than some of the other ones than just, I don't know, maybe there's just one seam here in the middle that I could remove if it becomes a thing, and then I could turn that into one bellows pocket. But then underneath that, you have a lined hidden pocket that I didn't even know was there. So underneath the two connected pockets that should be one pocket. But then you have this tab, this waist tab. I do like that because that's similar to the drawstring. I can just snap that and not worry about the zipper. But we have no storm flap. We have no snaps. We have two hidden interior pockets with a Velcro cinch, and that's it. No drawstrings. No. We do the sleeves are lined though, not just cotton, for easy on off, and the zippers. There's your zipper. So yeah, it's missing some features that you might want. Again, this tab instead of a drawstring, your results may vary. It does have the cinch thing, but not a full belt. So no belt, no drawstring. Kind of where this zipper pocket is would be where the drawstring would go. So I guess if you removed that zipper and removed that pocket, but you'd have to open this up to get to that pocket. And you do have a double lined cotton inner and canvas exterior. So it is a 2-ply, but again, not insulated, not warm. Mostly 2-ply. I'm going to wager because of the stuff like the game bag. No, that seems to be... Oh, there's a tab on top of the game bag with a thing. And the game bag's not even that big. Like I said, this literally all that ever used it for was putting the sleeves in the... putting the sleeves in. It's nowhere near the size of the other game bag or lined with any acetate. So not really a game bag, just kind of probably a nuisance if you really don't like putting stuff there. Well, for me, I usually have a belt, so I usually have stuff on the belt. So a back pouch like this is just inaccessible. But definitely a true field jacket in the non-military sense. And again, called an outback, but definitely not necessarily an Aussie cowboy garment in the same sense of the Western inspired. It's definitely less Western inspired and more outdoorsman, hunty, fishy inspired. Camping. But if you did have to spend long days, not necessarily on horseback, but away from, you know, even a van or a vehicle or an apartment or whatever, you could carry a bunch of junk in all these pockets. Sure, but it would be cumbersome. It wouldn't be that pleasant. The fabric with the 2-ply might be a little hotter than you want. Again, I didn't find it terrible, but I was in the mountains in springtime, as John Denver said, not in the desert in July or whatever, or January, as you know, down under. But this isn't made by a down under company. It's made by Rothko. So, okay, kind of a long video again, with just having made a long video yesterday, but hopefully semi-comprehensive and helpful and all that kind of useful stuff. I should have made this, yeah, back closer to when I made that vests video, really, but I didn't get around to it or didn't think it was necessarily worthy of its own category. And now I see that even if it's not worthy of its own category, it can still take up 45 minutes of time. So as always, if you have any comments or questions, rather, leave them in the comments and we'll have a discussion about why field jackets are, you know, great or miserable or not going to save the world anytime soon, but not really a strictly fashion item either. In fact, the opposite. If you know, I would say most field jackets don't look good in any fashion setting hardly at all, unless they're kind of like that lapel one. The rest of these, I would say, are pretty much outdoorsy function more, even if they are made by brands like Levi's and Converse. But what do I know? Okay, let me know.